Good morning. Today is our Thursday session. We have been progressing slowly towards building up towards this sun salutation, which we're going to work through today. Again, there's hundreds of variations of this, so we're just going to work on one version of it. To begin, we're standing nice and tall in our mountain pose. Our feet are about shoulder width apart. I'm going to first start by focusing on my toes. Siren going on in the background. All right. So as I focus on my toes, I'm thinking about the balance between both of my feet. Is my balance spread 50-50? I begin to focus on the bottoms of my feet. Again, is my balance spread all the way throughout my foot? The same pressure on the front of my feet is occurring on the heels of my feet. And if not, I begin to adjust. Now I'm focusing on my ankles. Are they nice and strong, foundational parts of me? And are they right below my knees? Now let's focus from the knees up towards our hips. Are our knees stacked right below our hips? Let's keep on focusing, bring that pressure of our focus backwards to our lower spine. Is our lower spine rotated forward, possibly rotated back, if that's the case? I begin to move my hips and pelvis until I can feel a little bit more of an alignment in that lower back. I begin to work towards my middle of the back. Focusing on that alignment, making it natural, straight, and in line. Now I'm at my upper back near my neck. I might have to mess with my shoulders or my neck a little bit. But again, I'm focusing on that alignment of my spine. Great posture, good balance between my feet. And now my focus comes to my breathing. As I inhale, I want to imagine the breath being pulled up through my nose, making a sharp turn towards my lungs, pushing deep into my lungs and filling them for those 4 counts. As I exhale, I want to imagine squeezing from the bottom of my lungs to the top of my lungs as I force the air up through my nostrils, making a sharp turn and exhaling through. So let's focus on that breathing. I'm nice and balanced. My spine is in line. And let's inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 3. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Great job. Now as we inhale, we're going to rise our hands up to the ceiling for that 4 count inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our arms nice and wide, first focusing on a parallel position. So we're making a T with our body, strong arms, soft shoulders, and then continue driving our arms down throughout the exhale. So again, 4 counts, you lift your arms up. As you exhale for those 4 counts, first to a T, and then drive our arms down. Let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 3. Exhale, 1, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Great job. Let's focus on those shoulders for just a moment as we do solo isolations. So we're going to bring our right shoulder up to our ear, bring it back and forward. So we inhale up to our shoulders, start bringing it back, Begin to exhale as you drive it forward and return it to normal position. So let's focus on our breathing. You're going to continue your 4-count inhale and your 4-count exhale. And right here, before you begin your shoulder isolations, how are your feet? Are your toes and heels still sharing that balance? Is your left foot and your right foot still sharing that balance? Now let's focus on your back. How's your lower spine? We tend to round out right there. How's your upper spine? Another place we tend to round out. So let's focus back on our posture as we begin that solo isolation. Let's begin. Inhale, 1, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, up, 2, and back, 4. Exhale, forward, 2, and normal, 4. Inhale, up, 2, and back, 4. Exhale, 2. Relax. Great. Let's do the other side. Inhale, up, 3. Exhale, 3. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. Release. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. And return to stillness. Great job. As we continue, we're going to start to open up our back and our hips. So first, we're going to challenge our balance just a little bit here. We have been working on this just a little bit, but if you need a wall or a chair or something to put a little pressure on, what we're going to do is we're going to bring our right knee up to our chest, and then we're going to just open it to the side, bringing it back forward and back down, continuing on the left. Very simple, very slow. We're not going to challenge ourselves too far, but it could challenge your balance just a little bit. So I do want to warn you if you want a table, chair, or wall. So I bring my feet together for this. And again, I'm focusing. How's my balance? Are my toes and heels spreading that balance? Is my left foot and my right foot sharing the weight 50-50? Let's focus on those lower hips and back, the middle of my back, and my upper back. I feel nice and in line and in balance. As I inhale, I begin to draw my right leg up, placing my balance into my left heel without pushing my left hip out too much. So I'm not trying to lose too much of that core strength and balance. As I bring my right knee up to my chest, and I'm focusing on that inhale, exhale. You're working on your own inhale, exhale. I begin to draw it out to the right side. Really just allowing a nice loosening of that hip, and bring it forward. And then we're just going to release it. Just that simple, nothing crazy. Let's do the opposite side. Again, you're focusing on your own breathing. As I inhale, I begin to draw my left foot up. First, focus on that right foot balance. All right, there we go. I bring my left knee up to my chest. Really, it's not fully in my chest, but I'm driving it up there. And when I have nice balance, I begin to draw it out. Whoop, I did not have nice balance. I begin to draw it out to the side, and I couldn't do it. My right knee is a little bit injured, not as strong, that's okay. So I might need to grab something. Hold my balance. Ooh, let's go sideways, okay. Bring it up, and out. Once I feel my hip is nice and warm, begin to bring it back forward and bring it back down. Great job. So we've just opened up those hips just a little bit. You can pedal out if you need to. I'm going to open my feet back up to shoulder width, and then I'm going to walk each foot out just one distance. Just one. That's it. I'm going to interlock my fingers. And as I inhale, we're going to extend up. As I exhale, we're going to bend forward. Remember to bend forward from the hips. A trick I teach is imagine someone's pulling you forward by your belly button. So remember to be pulled forward by that belly. We're going to create a nice flat back, or as flat as you can get it, On the exhale, on the inhale, we rise ourselves back up. And on the exhale, we're going to release. So one more time, inhale up, exhale, bend forward, inhale up, exhale, release. And we'll repeat this 3 sets. Ready to begin. And inhale, 2, 4, exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, exhale. And remember, your bend forward is only as far as you can get it. Inhale, exhale. If this is as far as you go, great. Inhale. We're just slowly loosening up those back thighs as well. Exhale and working out our back. 3, 4, one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Great job. Let's walk our foot one more length out. Work it one more step out on both sides. Now, we're going to begin that front forward bend. We're going to first stop when we are nice and flat with our back here, if possible. And then we're going to drop down further, all the way to our mat. If we're struggling to get all the way to our mat, and this is as far as we get, great. Just hold it there and work through your breathing. If this is as far as you get, fantastic. Hold it there and work through your breathing. If you can get your fingertips to the mat, awesome. Challenge yourself further. We'll be placing our palms straight on the mat. Either way, we're bringing ourselves down to our mat. We're going to crawl to our left, bring ourselves back to the center, crawl to our right, bring ourselves back to center, and bring ourselves all the way back up. Focusing on our breathing the whole time. Both of my toes are pointed forward. The pressure on my feet is on the knife edge, that outer edge of my feet. So I'm also building kind of the foot muscles as well. All right. Ready to begin. Inhale. And exhale. Let's recenter right here. For one more breath. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3. Great. Let's begin bending. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Wherever you are, just hold as you inhale. Exhale. 2, 3. Great job. As you inhale, walk your hands left. 2, 3, 4, and hold there. If you need to bend your knees, go ahead. Come on, hold it one more in. And out. Walk yourself back to center. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3. Walk yourself to the right. Inhale, 2, 3. Remember, if you need to bend, it's okay. Exhale, 2, 3. I know you can hold it. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Walk back to center. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. One more breath. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2. What I'd like you to do now is put pressure on your hands and begin to toe your feet back towards center. So just walk them back towards being shoulder width apart. Your balance is on your fingertips to help you out, and you're just bringing your feet back to center, shoulder width apart. If you've got to bend those legs, that's great. If you can stretch out the backs of your legs, that's awesome as well. As I inhale and exhale, I'm going to begin to slowly crawl up my body, thinking about each vertebrae one at a time, starting from the lower end up. So I'm thinking about my lower spine, rolling each vertebrae. Now I'm thinking about the middle of my back, As I unroll each vertebrae, as I get to my upper back, I slowly round out my shoulders up to my ears gently and rotate them back to a natural position as I come back to center. Take 3 deep breaths right here. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale. Inhale. Inhale, and exhale. Great job. We're going to begin to walk ourselves back down to the mat as we open our body up and start to work on those lower movements, that core, that plank, the downward dog, the cobras, all of those movements before we do 2 sets. I know we can do 2 sets of sun salutation today. All right. So as I bring myself down to the ground, I'm going to just come down to my knees and bring myself down into tabletop position. And begin to focus on these 4 points. Again, now I've got 4 points of balance, so I want 25% of my body weight spread between my 2 hands and my 2 knees. My toes and the backs of my feet are just connecting to the mat, but they're not necessarily weight distribution points. As I focus in on my hands, I also want to remember the main point, the main part where we should be pushing off is that L of our fingers, so that index finger and the thumb is where our pressure actually tends to lie on our hands. If you notice that your pressure is out towards your pinkies, can you feel what's happening in your shoulders and in your back as you start to rotate that pressure back towards your thumb and index finger? If you can't think about that, don't stress about that. But as you begin to advance into more movements where you're pushing against your hands, remember to bring your focus back to that index finger and thumb. So now I'm making sure that my wrists are stacked underneath my elbows, and my elbows are stacked underneath my shoulders. My focus comes to the back as I think about my knees stacked under my hips, and they weren't, so I readjusted. And now I think about my whole back. Is it straight? Or as straight as I can get it? Am I aligning that spine? That's really what I'm thinking about, the alignment of my spine. Great. I feel pretty aligned and pretty balanced, so as we begin here, we're just going to go ahead and power through. We're going to drive into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck my left toe underneath. My right foot is still relaxed. And I'm going to begin to charge into it. So I'm pushing on my hand and I'm pushing on my left foot. And there's not really pressure on my right knee. So I'm just pushing on it, building some strength. And now I'm going to release. You're focusing on your own inhale, exhale right here. I'm going to relax that left foot, putting pressure on my right toes to flex them. Now let's drive some pressure on that right toe. Building a little bit of strength at a time, slowly but surely. Great job. Let's relax. Take 1 inhale, exhale to center. In, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Great job. Let's tuck both of our legs. And we're slowly going to bring ourselves up, putting pressure on our hands. Now as we drive our hips up to the ceiling, I'm beginning to lower my neck, and I'm going to drive my heels into the ground for that downward dog as I relax my head between my arms. If you need to pedal out, please don't hesitate to do so. Walking through those feet, hamstrings, thighs, hips, calves, whatever is aching you or stretching you. And now we're going to lower ourselves back down to the mat, slowly onto our knees. Refocusing on that tabletop. Let's take 1 focused breath right here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Great job. Let's take 1 hand forward and work a little bit on that cobra. start lowering our pelvis. Great, just focusing in on that movement. Remember to bring our pressure back to our thumb and our finger. And I'm going to begin relaxing my shoulders. I'm focusing on my own breathing here. My eyes are forward first. If I can, I begin to draw my chin up just a little bit. Again, focusing on that relaxed shoulder. And as I can, I release up to tabletop. Let's take one focused, recentering breath right here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Great job. Let's release those hands, coming back up to our knees. We're going to bring our right knee forward. We're going to open up that hip for ourselves. First, let's focus on that balance. Let's challenge it. So our right toe, our right heel, my left knee, and a little bit of my left back foot are my 4 points of balance and distribution right here. My core is nice and strong, and I'm focusing on the alignment of my spine. Posture, posture, posture is key. If I want to challenge myself further, my natural relaxed arms can come up to my hips, or I can drive them all the way up for further balance challenge. Once I feel really comfortable in this position, what we're going to do is we're going to walk that right foot forward just 1 foot length, putting a nice distance between our right heel and our left knee. Let's begin to sink into that position, focusing on bringing our right ankle back underneath our right knee. If our right knee is too far back, we're not quite there. If our right knee is too far forward, we could cause injury, so let's be cautious here. You can look down at it at any time that you need to. My balance is challenged one more time here. So I recenter, I refocus. If I want to further challenge that balance, I can bring my hands to my hips, or I can drive them all the way up to the ceiling. Great job. I begin to release myself by walking that foot back and bringing myself back onto both of my knees. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. Really just opening up those hips, focusing slowly on building the foundational blocks of that sun salutation. My left knee is now up and forward. My balance is between my left toes, my left heel, my right knee, and the back of my right foot just a little bit. Once I feel I've got my balance here, and I'm really working on that alignment of my spine, I can challenge that balance further by placing my hands on my hips, or even drawing them all the way up. Great job. When I'm really comfortable with this position, I'm going to draw my foot just a little bit forward, with 1 foot length forward, creating distance between my left heel and my right knee. I'm going to begin to sink into that position, focusing on creating that nice long line between my left ankle and my left knee. They should be stacked, one on top of each other. Again, if you're not far enough, if your knee isn't above it, then you haven't sunk deep enough into it. If you're too far, you're going to cause injury, so be cautious. You're just trying to sink into it, so if you're still gaining towards that, that's okay. Just don't go over it. If you've got to put pressure on your own hands or on a wall or something to keep yourself balanced, great. If you can challenge your balance further, you can bring your hands to your hip or challenge it even farther by bringing them all the way up. Great job. You did a really good job opening up those hips. So I'm going to bring my foot back, and I'm actually going to rise back up into my mountain top position. Now we're nice and warm. We're ready to do this sun salutation transition. So I'm going to walk you through our modified or variant form of our sun salutation, which we're going to do today. We're really trying to get through 2 sets. That's it. That's all we're trying to get through. One where our right leg feels the extension, and one where our left leg feels the extension. So to begin, I'm in a nice, tall, strong, firm standing position. My hands rise to heart. And as I inhale, so I'm going to walk you through this once. You surely can walk through it with me, just to practice the motion or get through the postures if you like, or you can just watch. So as I inhale, I'm going to drive my arms up. If I'd like, I can even extend back just a little bit for a little bit of a back bend there. But I'm going to bring my arms up, and our hands are together, just nice and open. Like I said, this is a variant form, a modified form. We're just trying to get used to the idea of this. As we exhale, we're going to fold forward, again, focusing on that belly button, drawing us down. As we inhale, we're going to drive one foot back. So we're going to charge our left leg back first. And if I can't bring myself all the way into that low lunge, I surely can go down to that crescent. So I can bring my knee down if I need to. Okay. So I extend back. Now I'm going to go to the plank position. Again, if you're modifying and you're on your knee, that's okay. Now I'm in modified plank position. The only thing here is that you're focusing on stacking. Whether you're in modified or not, you're focusing on stacking that elbow, shoulder, and wrist all in one line, because then your pressure is in the right spot for our plank position. So we've gone from a lunge to a plank. From our plank, we're going to push up into our downward dog, and then push back down into our cobra position. I believe I did those backwards. Yes, I did. I'm so sorry about that. I had a little bit of a brain fart. My apologies. Let's reset. From our plank, we're going to drop down, pushing up into a cobra, flexing our toes back under. We charge our hips up into a downward dog. That makes so much more sense. We're going to bring our right foot back forward. So if you need to modify, you're going to lower your left knee and drive your right leg forward. Or you're in a low lunge. Bringing both feet together. For our next movement, we're in that forward fold now. And bring ourselves back up. Sorry about that little mistake there. So again, arms up, arms down, low lunge, plank, cobra, downward dog, low lunge, fold, and back up. We're going to attempt to do that one on the right, one on the left, focusing on inhaling or exhaling through each movement. All right, let's begin. Let's do this together. I'm staying nice and tall. My hands are at my heart. And let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Low lunge. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Plank. Exhale, 2, 3. Cobra, 4. Lower yourself down to the mat. Inhale, push up and relax those shoulders. 2, 3, 4. Downward dog. Exhale, 2, 3. Low lunge. 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Forward fold. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Up. Inhale, 2, 4, and back to center. Exhale, 2. So the other side. 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2. We're going to do our lunge on the right leg goes back this time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale to a plank. 2, 3, 4. Down to cobra. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Up to downward dog. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Bring our left leg back forward. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Bring your feet together. Exhale. 4, all the way up. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, and down. Exhale. 2, 3, and 4. Great job. That's what we've been working towards all week, really pushing towards that sun salutation, multiple sets. So we've made it through. We've powered through a little bit of a shorter session for our Thursday. We are ready to move into our cool down. Hopefully you're feeling energized, ready to go in that sun salutation. So to begin my cool down, I'm going to bring my feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to walk my left foot out by 1 step and my right foot out by 1 step, and then walk them out 1 more step. Great. We're just going to focus in on that energy going on right here. Start to calm our breathing, start to calm our heart rate. This time as we bend forward and allow our body to fall into that nice long pose, what we're going to do is we're just going to relax our body into it. So before, we really focused on bringing ourselves straight here and down. This time I just want you to kind of curl into it, whatever is comfortable for you. So I just want you to kind of curl down, start falling into it, really focusing on the balance between your feet. Start to connect your hands to that mat. And I want you to start to wiggle and just move around, relax. You can walk to your left, you can walk to your right, you can rock, you can flex those knees a little. I really want you to play with this movement as you tell those really nice and stretched and open hips and legs, hey, we're not quite done, we're still cooling off, but thank you for your work today. Great. Keep holding these crazy, funky stretch out poses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Putting pressure on my hands. I begin to walk my feet back together, really working on that forward fold. Again, I'm going to start, my feet are now shoulder width apart, and I'm going to start to just loosen it out, just jog it out. So I can pedal my feet, I can move my hands, I can shake my hips, whatever works for me to work out any kinks I might be feeling right here. As we finish up, we're going to start rolling up our body, walking ourselves up, focusing on that lower vertebrae first, starting on the lower back, thinking about rotating each one of those vertebrae first. Going to my middle back, my upper back, finishing with the soft upward movement of my shoulders, releasing them back to a natural state as my spine is nice and in line. Great job. Let's take 3 focused breaths right here. Inhale. 3. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Great job. We're going to focus on a couple of side bends and a side twists. So I'm going to inhale as I bring both arms up. As I exhale, I bend to the right side. My left hand connects to my left hip to remind myself not to bring it out. And we're going to hold there. Inhale. And as you exhale, return back up and draw up. Inhale. 2. And exhale, dropping down to the left side. My left hand connects to my right hip to remind myself. Breathe in here. And exhale, back up. Inhale, dragging our arms up. We're going to twist this time. As I exhale, I twist to the right. 2, 3, 4. Inhale right here. 2. Exhale. Release back to the front. And inhale up. 2. Exhale, twist. 2, 3, 4. Stay there. Inhale. And exhale back to the front. Great job. And we're just going to start refocusing on our breathing. At this point, if you'd like to sit down into easy position, you can. If you'd like to lay in corpse or child's or any of those relaxation poses, you sure can. Because I'm beginning the rest of my day, I'd like to just focus in on a few breaths right here, nice and tall in my mountain pose, as I focus on the balance between my 2 feet and my posture in my spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. I might even start to focus on breathing longer and deeper. Can I get to 5 counts in, 5 counts out, 6 counts in, 6 counts out. So that is the end of our section. You can take as many breaths as you need to recenter and refocus. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow for Friday, where we do a restorative, peaceful session after this week's energizing build-up to our sun salutation. Thanks for joining me.